Do you ever feel like sometimes you're drifting, you're coasting, you're a long ways away from the guy that you want to be, in fact, the guy that you pray to be. You want to be a better husband, you want to be a better father, you want to be a better follower of Christ. You want to be a better man, and it's if you could see it like let's say on a beach and you look down that beach, that guy, the guy that you are working to be, praying to be, wishing to be, seems like he's a long ways away. Seems like he is like way down the line. In fact, the longer it goes, the further it feels. I don't know about you, but man, that was me. That was several years ago before I started this ministry called Get in the Fight. I've told the story many times, but man, it connects with so many men. There's something about getting older and aging and getting to maybe just this midlife crisis that some people call it, but really it's this awakening of going, all right, where am I going with this life? What am I doing? How far away is this ideal man that I want to be that I thought I was on the path for most of us? And yet he seems like he's distant. He seems like he's not only distant, but maybe drifting, maybe even like further away. And I need to get back to figuring this out. I can't settle. And maybe that's where you find yourself today, like a long ways away from where you want to be, or like you're fighting the same things over and over. This ministry, this podcast, the newsletters that come out to Christian men, they're really geared toward a guy that feels, man, I want to change. I just don't know how. I don't know what else to do to bridge that gap, to shorten that distance that's away from the guy that I can see him in the future. I can see the distance clearly at this point, but it's getting further, not closer. I want to be better, but I don't know what else I can do. I go to church, I care, I want to be better, but nothing seems to work. The thing that I try to teach here, these practical discipleship training courses and coaching materials and books and things, this podcast, all of it is geared around trying to help men make small changes that can lead to big results. And the end result being that we would be better disciples, that we would be the men that we want to be. And so with that in mind, today I want to expose maybe 10 different reasons why you're maybe a good man, but you're weak and you're passive. You're complacent. In fact, I heard a guy talking about this the other day. I'm sure, mentioned it here, and you've probably heard this before. But the opposite of love isn't hate. And this is an important distinction to make here in this conversation today. You don't hate the Lord. You don't hate your calling to be a better man or disciple. But the opposite isn't hate. The opposite of love is apathy. It's that guy that gets to the point where he sees what could have been and should have been, and he gets to the point where he goes, I guess I don't care. I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess it's too late for me now. The guy who just gives up and is apathetic, that is the opposite of love. And it isn't like hatred. It's giving up. It's growing weak and it's growing passive. And so I want to look at just 10 ideas that came to mind as I was like studying this and looking through this, because I think this is so critical for some of you listening today. Like it was critical for me, like it still is critical for me. We never will reach that guy, by the way. Like we're never going to reach the guy down the beach, but we ought to be able to shrink the gap. We ought to be able to get closer and closer. The Bible talks about this like conforming into the image of Christ and not conforming to the world. And so we are constantly having to be vigilant. Jesus many times says, watch out, be alert, pay attention, fix your eyes. All of these are directives to us, trying to help us to see, look, you can't be casual in this life. And in fact, I just want to, this is like a side note, but I want to say it because it matters. Your life, you don't know how long you get. I mentioned a few minutes ago, like this midlife idea. That's only true if you know how much time you have. At the recording of this, I'm a couple weeks away from 49. Am I midway or am I 90%, 95%, right? I don't know. Nobody knows that, but the Lord does. And my point to you is this: because you don't know, and because what you do on this side of eternity matters, let's go get it. Let's get in the fight. Let's figure these things out. Let's stop drifting into passivity. Let's become better men, better disciples, because not only does it matter here for those that you love and for those that you might be able to reach for eternity, that maybe you are this conduit of grace from Christ to you, to somebody you love or care about. You play a role that matters in this world. And not only that, but someday there will be an accounting. There will be a judgment. And if you are in Christ, you don't have to worry about getting into heaven. But I think you ought to worry about what it looks like when you do. And what I mean is this. I believe, and again, check everything I say or your pastor says or any podcaster says against the Word of God. It doesn't matter what I think. But I'm going to tell you what I think the Word of God says about this. I believe there are rewards in heaven. And I believe that what we do here matters there. Maybe not in terms of getting in, because getting in is simply a matter of grace. Getting in is simply grace through faith, through Christ alone. There is no other way, no other name. And none of us deserves it. None of us can work our way there. But in response to the grace that's been given, we are called to be ambassadors. We are called to be fighters and workers and soldiers and whatever analogies you can think of that the Word of God points to say there's a harvest and it's plentiful. And I believe that those who go all in for Christ will receive just rewards. I don't know exactly what that means or what that looks like, but what I will say this is the man in me wants to win. I don't know about you, but that's how I'm built. I don't like playing games I can't win. People are like, why don't you play this video game? Because I'm like, I don't like doing it. I can't win at the video game. Why don't you play golf? Because I suck at golf. I don't want to play a game I can't win. In this game of life, what you do here matters. And I just want you to be thinking of that, study that, see if what I'm saying is what you think is true from the Word of God. But I believe that what you do here matters, and it might matter more than you ever dreamed of. And I don't want to get to heaven, and I don't want you to get to heaven and go, why didn't I give everything? If I would have known what I could have had, if I could have experienced this, if whatever that looks like, had I known, I would have given more. And I'm just telling you, assume that's true and give all that you've got. And so we're looking at why you might be weak, why you might be passive. And you're probably a good man. So why are so many good Christian men growing weak and passive? And again, I was on that journey. I recognize these things because they were in me, and I see them. I see the impact of them. I see them still available to me today, and I have to be alert. I've got to stand firm in my faith. I've got to act like a man and grow up and get strong and learn to do everything in love. I'm still on this journey, and that's why we need one another for these reminders, right? So I'm glad you're listening, and I want you to pay attention to that as we go through this list. In Romans 13:11, here's this verse. The hour has already come for you to wake up from your slumber. I want you and I want me to wake up from this fog that we're in, that we can just passively walk through our life here as if it doesn't matter. It's kind of like, I've got my fire insurance. I'm good. I'm going to heaven. Why else would I try? And man, I'm telling you, if you're stuck anywhere near that thought, if you're just like stuck in passivity and weakness and apathy, it's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. The hour has come for you, my friend, to wake up, get in the fight, and live like it matters, because it does. As we go through this list, as I pray that God wakes you up and wakes me up, my hope for you is that maybe somewhere in these 10 reasons, these 10 things that we'll walk through really quickly, maybe you can name what it might be for you. And in fact, more than you trying to name it, my hope for you is that God will help you to see it clearly, and he will help you to name it and go, that's what it is, Nate. Pay attention here. That's what I'm praying for you with this podcast. And I want you to pray that way too. Maybe you'll pause now and say, God, as we go through this list, if any of these are me, would you show me? Would you alert it? Whether that's right now or over time, help me to see where I'm weak and passive, and help me to name it. Because I think if you can name it, you can tame it. You can go, oh, I see what it is. If this is the issue, then how do I attack that issue and defeat it? How do we learn then, if we can see it clearly, how to go on offense and defeat this thing? Okay? So if you're going, man, I'm stuck and I don't know why. I just feel like there's something blocking the way, but you don't have the answers, right? I want you to listen to these and just, again, pay attention, pray, and wake up from your slumber and name what this is in you. And then from there, we can make small changes that can lead to big results that can help you to be a better disciple of Christ. All right, so let's jump into the 10 reasons that I think men go passive and get weak. Why do men grow passive and weak? Number one, I just said fear of failure. It's like there are many men who say it's better to do nothing because as long as I do nothing, then I can't fail. But that's a lie. In fact, there was a story of a guy that he was maybe 10 or 15 years older than me, went to school. I knew him as a great athlete when he was in school. His name had passed down by the time I got there, and the stories of this guy were like, this dude was a stud. I got to know that guy really well and was talking to him, and he had told me that he was just so mentally weak still. Like he could have been probably such a better athlete, but his fear of failure was so high that he just never would take on heavier tasks than he knew he could perform on his own. And so he only gave the effort according to what he knew he could do. Never pushed himself because he didn't want to go into that territory where maybe he would fail. How about you? Is fear of failure keeping you weak and passive? Is it the thing that for you, man, there's something that lights up in you where you're going, yeah, raise my hand, here I am. I always feel like it's better to do nothing as well because I don't want somebody to be afraid or I'm afraid that somebody might look at me and think, what a weak dude. And yet in thinking that, guess what you become? A weak dude. Fear of failure is so common. And I see guys going, man, if I can't be perfect at it, then I'm not going to even try at all. Hey, here's the wake-up call. There is nobody perfect. Nobody that you know on this side of the world or on this side of the planet or this side of eternity, however you want to say it, nobody that you know is perfect. And yet to not try is complete failure, right? So maybe that's it for you. Is that why you are where you're at today? And you need to deal with that. Name that. Oh, you know what it is? I know what it is. It's fear of failure. And I'm going to take that on today. Number two, I said this, maybe past trauma or disappointments are keeping you weak and ineffective. You know, when pain is in your life in a deep way, it makes you play life as safe as possible. For many of us, if you grew up with trauma or disappointments or you've been let down by the church or by other people or whatever it is, it could be such a huge range of things. If past trauma or past disappointments have caused you to get out of the fight, then man, I just want to encourage you to name it today. Name it and say that's what it is. That's the thing that for me, it's too painful to try to walk back through there. It's too painful to trust once again. And I will just tell you this, it is painful. Life is painful. And yet when you move your eyes from that painful event or those painful moments or that trauma and you fix your eyes on Jesus Christ, all of a sudden things change. And I know, easier said than done. I get that. I'm not trying to make it sound like that's all you do. It isn't all you do. But you have to name it, and then you've got to walk into that pain. And I would tell you, man, I want to walk away from pain too. But the only way to get past something is to go through it. And I wish there was a different way. And yet, what I know is this. Everybody suffers. Everybody has disappointment. Everybody has some sort of like trauma of a different scale, of course. But don't let that be your thing. Don't let that be the thing that continues to defeat you and keep you out of the game, keep you out of the fight. If that's the thing, face it. Go to Christ with it. Get some help with it. But don't let it be the thing that's keeping you passive and weak and not fulfilling the purpose for which God has for you. Number three, I said, maybe the reason that you're passive and weak is because you have lack of support. There are a lot of movies that look really cool when the guy is like just so sweet on his own. The James Bonds, whatever. Jason Bourne. It's like these dudes are like one-man wrecking machines, and we love the picture of that. We love the tough guy story. We love the guy who can go in and defeat things on his own. But man, that is not Christian. That is not biblical. It's not real. That's a movie, my friend. And if lack of support is your thing, man, I just want to encourage you. If nobody's watching your back, if nobody knows the stories, you're going to stay weak. If nobody is doing life with you, you're going to be less than you could be. And that guy that's on the beach, that's way down there, that's who you're aiming to catch up to and be like, that's a guy that only gets there with help from others. We all have to have support. You become like the people you spend the most time with. And if the people you spend time with are online only or don't exist at all, and you're just like, dude, I don't have anybody, we got to fix that, right? And I'm not saying I'm not here to solve all of these for you. My point is to take it to the Lord. But there are things you can do, practically speaking, if you're lacking support. Number one, I want you to find men in real life. I want you to get involved at your church. I want you to take a risk of making yourself vulnerable. Maybe it's just like somebody who's kind to you, and you just say, could I ask you some questions? Or would you like to have coffee with me so I could just get to know you, or whatever it is, right? Find a way to invite somebody to have coffee or lunch and just ask them questions, get to know somebody. Join a men's group at your local church. Or if none of those are options, and even if they are options, add on to it by going to getinthefight.club/FC for Fight Club. getinthefight.club/FC and learn about our Fight Club. It's an online community for Christian men. And it is just this amazing support group of men from all over the country, all over the world, who are here to be better men, better disciples, better fathers and husbands and all the rest, all the things that you're likely wanting to be better at. But don't try to go it alone. Don't lone wolf your way into heaven and look around and go, man, look at all that could have been. Somebody needs you. As much as you need other men in your life, somebody also is looking for you. And I'm telling you, like, the lack of support that you have today, it's out there. But you're going to have to be brave. You're going to have to pursue it. And I encourage you to do that. If that's the thing that you go, man, that's me right there. I just feel like all alone. Let's make sure we name it so you can tame it and figure that out. Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Nate Whitson podcast. I wanted to interrupt the show just for a second to let you know that there are all kinds of great resources for Christian men who want to be better husbands, better fathers, better followers of Jesus, and just better men in general. If that's you or maybe somebody that you know, then be sure to head over to getinthefight.club, that's .club, and check out the books and the resources, the coaching material, the newsletter, the Fight Club. There's so much there for you. Getinthefight.club. Check it out today. If you're serious about being the man that God meant for you to be, and you're looking for tools or resources or just help in general, then be sure to head over there right now and check it out. All right, that's it for now. Thanks for listening. Now back to the Nate Whitson podcast. Number 4 I said was men stay weak and they get very passive when they get overwhelmed. And I know that for so many of us today, this is a big deal. Many of us feel like life is just heavy. And so what do you do as a man when life gets heavy? For many of us, we check out. We literally go to the garage, or we go golf, or we play video games. Probably the younger you are, maybe that's one of your escapes, whatever it is, right? But we're not there. We're so overwhelmed by the busyness of life, the cares of life, the distractions of life, that we maybe don't even know it, but maybe in this podcast right now, God's going to tap you on the shoulder. And he's going to, in that loving way that he does as a father, and be like, hey, pay attention to this one. And if it's your issue, and if it's the thing that's making you weak and passive, let's figure that out. Let's take some small steps that can make some big results and changes in your life and help you to be a better man. Are you overwhelmed? Are you distracted and like your brain is full, your life feels full, and it just feels heavy? Let's name it if that's the case, and let's deal with that. Number 5 I said was we get weak and passive when we're comfortable in our routine. You might look at your life and go, it's not great, but at least it's predictable. It's kind of like sitting in your own diaper. It's like where the baby's, it's a little messy, but it's warm and it's mine, so here I sit. It's something I think that many of us deal with. We get so comfortable being stuck and broke and passive that we can't even imagine that there's a way out. And that's a part of the devil's lies to us, where he kind of whispers that to you. Man, do you really want to fight for this? Is it really worth it to go try to mend this relationship? What if it doesn't work? And he like whispers these things to us men. And let's just keep it comfortable here. Let's not get too crazy. You don't want to be looked at like some kind of like crazy Christian, do you? And he just says all this nonsense to us. We get comfortable in our routine of being broke, and yet, like deep down, don't you feel that? Don't you have that thing in you that just goes, I don't want to be like this though anymore. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of being cozy. I'm tired of not being the man that I'm supposed to be. And if that's the case for you, then name that. That's what it is. That's it right there. I'm so comfortable in my routine that the idea of changing feels too much. And I'm telling you, the answer is to go really slow. Check out my training for change course if that's you. If this is, I don't know how to get out here, but I want to bad. Like I want to change, I just don't know how. The answer is almost always the opposite of what you hear from tough guys and men online will go, let's go big. We got to grind. We got to hustle. We got to whatever. Ignore all that's noise. It's not true for most of us. Maybe some of you, but not most of us. The answer that I teach is to start super small. And I walk people through a really simple step-by-step system called training for change. And if that's you today, man, you're just like, I need help getting out of here, but I don't want to be overwhelmed by it. Just tell me the answers. Help me to go slow. Walk me through it. Then check that out, training for change. And you can find that at getinthefight.club. But recognize it again. Is that you? If so, let's figure it out. How do you get out of that comfort? What are the voices saying? And then what is the truth? Number 6, I said, was this: mental health issues. Apathy may be the surface symptom, I said, of something that's actually deeper. And it's if you're stuck, and again, we're going through 10 possible reasons, and you're like, okay, it's not this one, it's not this one, it's not that one, what could it be? My point to you is that maybe there's something in the mental health arena that for you is like anxiety or depression or something deep inside that needs to be addressed. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. One of the hard parts for us as men is we go, man, I don't want that to be my story. But if it's your story, then you got to own it. You got to address it. You got to deal with it, because you'll stay stuck. And that guy on the beach, he gets further away, right? That image of what could have been, he just goes further, and then you get more comfy in your routine. You become more overwhelmed with the idea of how far away he looks. So we got to go through it. You got to go through the pain. And I will just say this, we're not going to get off on a tangent here in this podcast, but man, I understand anxiety and depression and mental health challenges of my own, and I'm working on them. I am training through certain things in my own life. And again, that's not really what this podcast is about, but I just say it because if that's, you're not alone. That's the main thing. Get some help, name it, and then you can tame it, but you're not alone. I want you to know that. Number 7, I said, was just having unclear goals. Why do some men get stuck? It's because they don't know where they're going. And if you aim at nothing, like Zig Ziglar said, guess what? You're going to hit nothing every time. If you're aiming at nothing, then you'll hit it. The thing that I would tell you is that clarity is what you need in life. Clarity of what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and where you're going to do it. I teach on this all the time, and I'll say it again here because this is so critical. The thing that you might need to build momentum and get unstuck and get out of this apathy and passivity is simply figure out, okay, what is it that I need to do? I need to start reading my Bible. Okay, when are you going to read your Bible? Give a specific time. And then where will you read it? Okay, so I know what I need to do, read my Bible. I know when I'm going to do it, 7 a.m., and I know where I'm going to do it, in my chair next to my Bible, right? Or next to wherever I have coffee or whatever it is. Know what you're going to do, know when you're going to do it, and know where exactly you're going to do it, and then go do that thing. And start super small. Just do one thing at a time, and when you get that down, add another thing to it. That's really what this is about, but it's clarity that you need. The opposite is this. You wake up and you go, man, what am I going to do today? Now, when your brain and your mind is tired and you're already feeling like you're passive and weak, it is really hard to find the motivation and energy that you need to go do it when you haven't even decided yet what it is you're going to do. This is what I mean about having clear goals. Decide what you need to do, decide when you'll do it, and decide where exactly you're going to do that thing. And just that little bit of clarity, I'm telling you, will get you moving. And that's the thing you need the most. You need to just move in the right direction. Just get moving one step. You're like, it's only one step. I have so far to go. Resist that. Don't worry about that. Put your head down. Stop looking up at that distance, and then take the next step, and then take the next step, and then take the next step. That's how you start winning the game. All right, number 8, lack of accountability. It's like talking about taking that first step. One thing that makes it a lot easier is when you get really clear and say, I know what I'm going to do, I know when I'm going to do it, and I know where I'm going to do it, and then you add accountability. This is like a magic formula. That's not magical at all. It's just basic stuff. But if you say, I know that I need to start reading my Bible, and I'm going to do it here at this time, and whatever, right? I know exactly what I'm going to read, when I'm going to read it, where I'm going to read it. And now I call a buddy of mine and say, hey, I need to start getting better at this. Would you like hold me accountable to it? Will you just check in with me? Will you just see, hey, did you do the thing that you said you would do? That little bit of push for many guys is enough to get moving. And again, just hear me when I say this. The way forward is to just get moving. Just get started. Don't worry about how small the step is or like how far you have to go. Just get that out of your head. The only thing you need to worry about is how you're going to do it. And that's one step at a time, right? So get clear on those things and then bring somebody in with you. And again, that goes back to that lack of support, doesn't it? Who in your life is walking with you? Who is pushing you? Who knows when you're being a total wuss and staying on the couch or not getting out of bed or not doing what you're supposed to do? Who can call you out on that? And again, that goes both ways. Who are you doing that for as well? When you start looking for helping serve somebody else, you're going to find people who want to be in your corner. Okay, so lack of accountability is a big deal. Invite it in. Invite it for yourself because you are going to be the man that you want to be, regardless of if other people do or don't. You be that guy, and it starts with accountability. That will help you so much. 2 more to go here. Number 9, I just said societal pressures keep many guys down. Like the whole thing, like real men don't admit the struggle. It's like a pressure of going, I don't want society. I don't want people in general. I don't want my church. I don't want my community. I don't want my friends to know that I struggle. So what do? When I feel that pressure, I just put on the mask and I go to church and people would be like, Nate, what's up, man? How you doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm always doing good. It's like I'm talking to this guy the other day. He's going through some hard things in his life. And I'm like, dude, how is it going really? He goes, man, I'm good. Everything's good. No, you're not. I know his story. And yet this is just the man's approach to this pressure that we feel. We put the mask on because we don't want to be real. We don't want to be vulnerable. We don't want to say I'm screwing this up. And we also don't want the accountability that we know we need. And that accountability starts with you going, it's up to me. For example, if your marriage is falling apart, it isn't her fault. It's yours. If things aren't going well in your home, in your finances, it isn't because somebody else. It's because of you. It's not the credit card company, right? It's not the people who sold you the car you couldn't afford. It's you. Why? Because God put you in charge of your home. You're the man. You're the man of the house. And you're like, yeah, but you don't understand, like she did this, she did that. How did it get to that point? From the day you married until here, how did it get to there? Something fell apart, and it had to do with you not playing your role somewhere along the way. Now, again, I know that's in some ways simplistic, but it starts with ownership. It starts with accountability with yourself, that you play the role that you're supposed to play. We start there, right? And so anyways, when you play this game and pressure builds and societies don't tell people what's real, that's just such garbage. And that's the stuff that keeps you stuck. That's the stuff that keeps you weak and apathetic and out of the fight. And man, if that's it, again, put a pin in it and be like, that's it. That's it. Societal pressure is the thing. And I don't like it. I don't want to feel like this, but I know I got to deal with this. And so own it. Take ownership of your life and start moving forward. Last one here is just spiritual disconnect. Man, big. I saved this one for the end because it's just so critical. And I want you to remember this, right? Why are you weak? Why are you passive? Why are you so far away from that guy that you want to be? It almost always begins and ends because men are spiritually disconnected from the source. Do you remember John 15? Apart from me, you can do what? This is Jesus speaking in this passage. Apart from me, you can do an okay job. Is that what he said? No. Apart from me, you can do a lot of things, but not everything. Nope. Apart from me, you can do absolutely zero, nothing apart from me. And he talks about being a vine connected to a vine and the branches and right. It's this connection. If you get disconnected and severed from that, it's like a light has the chance to be shining and doing its job, but only if it's plugged in. And you have potential to be the man and the disciple and the husband and the father that you want to be, that you need, that you're needed to be. But you're disconnected from the source. And if you are, you're going to do more than drift. You're going to just fall away, right? This is a big deal. We need to help make some small changes in your life, if this is the case, to get you plugged in, to get you connected to the source. Because if you're stuck and if you've been drifting and you start to ask the question, how connected am I to Christ, to his word, to his people? Most likely very little. And the more we can change this one thing, man, you watch the momentum build by just getting reconnected. It can change everything. The thing that I want to leave you with is that passivity feels safe. It feels safe to sit in your diaper. It feels warm and it feels safe and it feels okay. It's no fun and you know it's no good and you know it's robbing you of your purpose, because there's that thing in you where the Holy Spirit is just prompting you and convicting you and pushing you forward and saying, come on, man, let's go. Let's go. Let's do this. I'm with you, God says. I'm with you. Passivity pushes back against that. I was like, man, I don't want to risk that. I don't want to take that chance. And yet deep down you do, and you know it. But when you are passive, it's really like a subtle rebellion. And that's what I want you to know. When you are saying no to changing, it's really saying no to God. It's telling him, you know what? I know you died on a cross for me, and I know I've told you that I appreciate that, but I'm not going to do anything about it because I just don't really want to. Be honest. Be open to that. But the thing is, the devil doesn't need to destroy you. He just needs you distracted, discouraged, and disengaged from the mission. And if he does that, he keeps you from playing out the roles that you're supposed to, and he wins. And I don't want him to, and neither do you. So what do? You name it. If you can name these issues, then you can start to tame them through Christ's power in you. And again, it goes back to that connection with him first and foremost, right? So of these 10, fear of failure, past trauma or disappointments, lack of support, feeling overwhelmed, or maybe just comfortable in your routine. Maybe it's a mental health issue that you need to get addressed. Maybe it's just lack of clarity about your goals and where you're going. Maybe there's no accountability and, again, support. Maybe it's just pressure that's keeping you away, or it's spiritual disconnect. What are the things, or what's the one thing possibly that God is like, that's the one, pay attention to this. Identify it, and then invite God into it. Psalm 139, search me, O God. Show me, because he knows, doesn't he? Ask God that. God, will you search me and show me? Lead me. And if you ask that and you mean that, trust me, he will. He will do that. And then you've got to take one step. That's what we've been saying. That guy on that beach, that analogy I'm giving you here, that story, he seems so far away. The only way you can get anywhere closer is if you take one step at a time. And so I want you to identify that thing. I want you to pray that God identifies it and walks with you. And then I just want you to take small steps, because if you start making small changes, it can lead to bigger results than you ever dreamed of. And you start to live out this life as the man that God made you to be, the disciple that you're meant to be, the husband, the father of Christ, and the man. But you got to take steps, right? It isn't like, all right, God, fix all this for me. He's like, all right, let's go. But you got to walk. You got to walk with him, right? Passivity and weakness and all these things, they don't start with laziness. They start with lies. And you have to hear that clearly. It starts with lies from the devil, where he whispers to you all these things. It doesn't start with laziness, but man, it can lead to it, because the more you believe the lie, the lazier you get. And so I want you to go back through this if you need to, re-listen to it if you need to, write them down if you need to. But what are the areas for you that you need to name them and then address them? Get help from your local church, from your local pastor, or go to getinthefight.club. And again, if you check out our online community called our Fight Club, it's free to join. Just check it out. Go to getinthefight.club/FC for Fight Club. And you're going to learn all kinds of things, what we're about, tools and resources and things that we have for you at getinthefight.club. I mentioned the course called Training for Change. If you're like, man, I've got to change something. I know what it is. I've identified it, but I don't know where to go from here. Check out the course or the one-on-one coaching called Training for Change. It's probably going to be what you're looking for. But man, I just want you to pray. God, show me. I want to be a better man for you. I want to live for you. Show me what that is. Walk with me in this, and he will. And again, we're here to help you do the same. So thanks for listening. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next show. And if this was a worthy episode to pass on, then please do. Share it with your social media or just directly with a friend. That makes a huge difference. All right, stay in the fight this week. We'll see you soon. Hey guys, thanks so much for being here today and listening to the show. Please be sure to head over to the website at getinthefight.club. And before you go, if you haven't already, please subscribe, click the like button, and leave us a positive 5-star review. It makes a huge difference whenever you do. Have a great day. Go get in the fight.